Hello everybody. In this screencast we're going to look at the first assessment or exercise that we have in this course. Basically it's a very simple application just to test to see if you are able to build layouts, and this is the app. It's one screen and this is the layout, and basically I have budgeted around 1 hour. For an average student I think would take around 30 minutes to do this, but anyhow, let's do it. So let's start by building the layout, and then we go ahead and build it, right? So basically it's only one part, one screen, all right? So let's go start Android Studio and create a new project. We'll call it assessment 1. Here is the empty activity, next, and I'm gonna call it assessment 1. All right, so finish. Here it is. It's gonna create the app for me, and basically this is my layout. The layout is, if you look at it, I need to plan a little bit. So basically I have to edit texts, and then there is the operation, which is the division. So basically you enter some text here, you enter some number here, and when you click calculate, you just divide both numbers. Reset brings it back to this state. Okay, all right, so what I'm going to do is just zoom in a little bit so that I can use this as a reference, and I don't need the sidebar here. Here we are. So I think this is good enough. All right. Okay, so now I have the app already, and let me disable. Okay, Copilot is disabled. All right, cool. So let me build my layout. Here's the layout, main activity, and here's my layout. There's a constraint layout. I'll give it a little bit of padding. Let's say 10 dp. Here it is. So I have my design window here. I'll start with this sign. So basically I'm gonna take a text view here, and I'm going to center it. So here it is, and it is the division sign. Here it is, and basically let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's make it maybe 20 or something. Here is the division sign, right? We can anchor it to the top, it doesn't matter. Here it is, it's anchored to the top. So you see here the division sign is centered on the screen. Now I can go and add an edit text. The first edit text, and basically what I'm interested in, let's say signed decimal. Okay, a signed decimal number, or a decimal number. Let's say it doesn't say positive or negative, so I'll just use a decimal number. Here is 1, and I'm gonna copy, Control C, Control V, so I have 2 of them, right? So now what I'm going to do is, this guy goes all the way here and is anchored. Before I anchor to the top, I want it to be to the side of the sign, and then I click once and then twice, and now it's going to, it should resize. You see here, it resized, and then I go all the way up, give it a little bit of a margin. There it is, and here we are. We have our first edit text set up correctly, right? If I want this guy to be centered vertically, I can just, instead of anchoring it to the top, I can anchor it to the top of this and also to the bottom of this, and you know now it's centered. Similarly, I'll do the same thing here. So this one goes here, and then the other edge goes to the side here. Click once, click twice, and then all the way up, and then the left margin maybe a little bit of a margin, 6. So I have my edit text set up correctly. Here's the first edit text, here's the second edit text, here is the sign. Okay, I'll call it, this is the text view operation maybe of the operation, but then this is the first edit text. I'll call it edit text A, and then the other one is edit text B. Okay, this is edit text B. So I have both edit text set up. Then I have some kind of an answer here, so I can have, let's say, one edit text to hold the equal sign, and then maybe another edit text to hold the answer. So here is the constraints. Maybe I give it a little bit of a margin. Here it is, and then this one is the equal sign. Here's the equal sign. You can make it a little bit bigger. Okay, here it is. So I have this is the equal sign, and then basically this is going to be the answer. So the answer goes all the way maybe to the top of, let's say, I'll take it all the way to the top of the equal sign. Here it is, and then to the left of the equal sign, 1, 2, and then basically give it a little bit of a margin, and here's my answer. So this is text view answer, right? All right, here we are. Okay, so then I have 2 buttons. Here's the first button, and then the second button. All right, perfect. So now we just add the constraints for these buttons. Here's the first button. We anchor it to the top of the text, give a little bit of a margin, and then 1 and 2 so that it now takes the whole width. Similarly, the second button, here we are, and a little bit of a margin, 1 and 2. So good. So we have the two buttons. The first button we are going to we want the text to say calculate, so I click here, I add a string value, call it calculate. All right, so that's the first one, and then second one is reset. Okay, string value reset, and here we are. Let's give these buttons some good names. So here's the IDs. Here's the reset. This is the reset button, and then similarly, this is the calculate button. Here's calculate. All right, so now I have these. Now this one, I could just set it up to be NA to start with. All right, so here we are. So I have the layout set up. I can even have a string that says NA, but anyway. So I have that. Now I need to write the code for this. All right. So now this is how we set up the layout. Just need to write the code. So now we go back. I usually, I keep on saying that in my videos, but I recommend heavily to use view binding. But for the time being, we're not using view binding. So I'm just going to copy the layout, paste it here so I can get the IDs. All right. So basically, I need these two edit texts and this text view. You know, the text view that's going to hold the result, the two edit texts, and the two buttons. All right, cool. So now I'll also get the operation. I don't need it now, but maybe for the bonus. Text view. Here's the first text view is this one. And options enter gets you this. So here is that. So I got the text view. And here is edit text A. Yes, okay. Edit text A, and then similarly edit text B. Here we are. So I have the two edit texts in place. Good. Now I need the answer. Here's the edit text for the answer, the text view for the answer. Here's the text view for the answer, and then I have the buttons. All right. So here's the first button and the second button. So here's the first button and second button. So basically, find view by ID r.id dot the first button, and then similarly, and then I'm gonna set up the on-click listener for it. So I'll copy this. Done. Set on-click listener, new on-click listener. That's the first on-click listener for the calculate button, and then the next one is for the reset button. All right, cool. So here we are, and I'm good to go with my layout stuff. I need to get these from the layout, so I need find view by IDs for each one of them. Equals find view by ID r.id dot text view operation. Again, this is all boilerplate code, so I have 4 of them. I need 4. The next one is this one. Here it is. I have 4 of them. Edit text A. Here it is. And edit text B. Here it is. Cool. So I have all of them, right? So now let's write the code. So now let's write the reset. So basically, when you click on reset, I need to bring it back to look like this. Oh, now let me add the hints. So if you see when you look here, I need a hint here. So I click on this and add a string value. I'll call it, for example, hint A, enter A. Here it is. Okay, and okay. So here is enter A. And similarly, the hint here is hint B, enter B. Okay, here it is, and here it is. So you have enter A, enter B. The hints are working perfectly. We don't need this anymore. So now the reset. To reset, all what I need to do is go to edit text A, set text to empty. Right. So basically, I set the text for this one to empty, and similarly, edit text B dot set text to empty. And then similarly, the result, I need to just set it to NA. So the text operation, not operation, text answer dot set text to this, and we're good to go. So when you click the reset button, we're gonna clear these and just set this to NA. Good. So now when you click calculate, we need to do some things. First, we need to get the first number, get the second number, make sure they're okay, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the string that comes here into a double, right? So and call this number 1, a number A, and number B, right? So let's say a double number A equals double dot value of, and then I need to get the string edit text A dot get get text, sorry, get text dot to string. All right, and then that becomes my number A. Now the problem with this is that this could throw an exception, right? So basically, if you look here, we need to it can throw an exception. So I need a try catch, and the exception, we know it's called the number format exception. Number format exception. Here's my exception. So I need to do this in a try catch block. So basically, here we are. All right. So if I do this, I get number A, right? Now what I need to do is, if there is a problem, I can just tell the user toast enter a valid number A, right? Enter valid number A. Enter a valid number A. Something like that, right? So enter a valid number A, right? Now, if I want to catch the other one, so basically now, if you're good, if the code tries to execute, if it executes this line and no exception happens, then it will go and try to execute the next line. So now in the next line, what I would like to do is I would like to do another try catch, a number format exception, right? And in that try catch, I want to get number B, right? Number B, another one. Double, same thing. So basically it's exactly the same code, right? Here it is, and then instead this is number B, right? And this is edit text A B. So now if there is a problem that happens, right? So if there is a problem that happens, it's gonna get in the catch, and then I'm going to say enter number B. Cool. So now at this stage, if it executes this line and no exception, and then executes this line and no exception, this means I have a safe two safe number A's, valid numbers A's and number B's. I need to check to see for divide by 0, so I need to check to see if number B is equal to 0, right? If it's equal to 0, then I'm gonna show a toast telling them cannot divide by 0, right? So basically I can do this, I copy this, paste it here. I could say cannot divide by 0, right? So basically that's this. Now if it's not equal to 0, then I can get the value. So basically I could say double result equals number A divided by number B. All right, so I have the I have the result, and now all what I do is I just set the answer to the result. Text view answer dot set text to string dot value of the result. Okay, cool. So now, of course, I need to worry about the format. Does it say I have to have it in 2 decimal places? If it does, I'll fix it, right? So basically, let's run this. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it says 2 decimal places. Okay, we'll do format it at 2 decimal places. Now, you see when I click on calculate, it says enter number A. Let's say I enter 1, right? And let's say calculate, it says enter number B. Let's say I enter 2, okay, and calculate, and 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. Now, what if I make it 0 and I click on calculate? It says cannot divide by 0. Reset takes everything back to its reset stage. I don't know why we have this sign here. Maybe the answer should be empty, sorry. There should be NA, right? Okay, let's run it again. So we're good. I think the only thing that is left is just to set up the decimal places. So we click on calculate. No, let's say 5 divided by 2, calculate. Now things go hairy once you divide by 3 because it will have all these. So you need 2 decimal places. Okay, good. So now 2 decimal places, we did this before in one of our videos. We will use format, right? So basically dot format, and basically we're gonna format it as percentage dot to F. I think it's done this way. You can look it up, right? And then basically that's gonna be the results. Here we are, and let's cut this from here and put it here, and let's run this and see what it's gonna look like. Here it is. So 1 divided by 2, calculate, and it's showing it in 2 divided by 3.33. We're good, right? Okay, cool. So we are able to do the formatting, and we're able to do this part. Straightforward, really straightforward. See, the code is really simple to write. All what we're doing is just getting the values and doing the division. Okay, cool. So that's the first part, right? So basically, if we do this, we get our 100 points. Scroll down a little bit. Now there's a small bonus. The bonus is exactly the same layout, except that there is, you can pick what kind of operation you want to do. Okay, so we need something to decide on what kind of operation, and the add is set up by default. Okay, cool. So now we go back to the layout here, and I want to insert it here between them. Okay, cool. So now I just need to increase this a little bit. Let's make it a 200 margin or something to push this a little bit down so I can put something here, and then I'll remove that constraint. Let's make it maybe 300. Here it is. And then I need a radio group. A radio group. Here is the radio group, and I'm going to put it under, let's say, here. Oops. All right. So I Control Z. I'll just add a text view first for the operation to indicate that this is the operation. Okay, it's not happy for some reason, but here we are. Here's the text view, and it's not happy. Yeah, okay, so let's say we put this one here. Okay, good. It's not happy again. There is some constraints that it's not happy with, so let's see what is wrong. Edit text size too small. Okay, so good. So let's see. So I need, let's say, I'll copy this one. All right, let's copy it and put it to the side here. Good. So now we have that. I'll just put it to the side here. Remove this margin, remove this constraint, and add this to be under this one, and add a little bit of a constraint. Okay, good. So now this one is going to be called operation. So go here, add a string value, operation, and call it operation. And here we are. Okay, so here's the operation. And then we add our radio group. Here is the radio group. It goes here, and the radio group, I want it to go here, and the top of it is the top of this one, and the side is gonna be here. Okay, good. So that's my radio group. 1, 2. Okay, here's my radio group, and here we are. Good. So now let's add the radio buttons. Radio buttons to that radio group. Here it is. I just drag it and drop it under it, and then we have a look at what's the problem now. Let's see, code, and we split. It's not happy for some reason. Okay, let me delete this. Okay, that's my radio group. It seems that this Android Studio is acting up a little bit, so what I will do is radio group, I remove these constraints. I remove this constraint, and maybe I'll make it wrap content. Good. So then I'll go in and now add to it some radio button. There's the first radio button. There's one, and then the second one, let me add another radio button in here. So I have these two radio buttons. It's not happy for some reason, but anyhow, so here we are. Let's look at the design window. It doesn't let me see the design window. So I wanted to go to the, let's say, let's go again. It's not letting me. Maybe I can close it. Sometimes when you close it and then you open it again, it tries to rerun the constraints, and then it solves this problem. But anyway, so here we are, and now maybe I can just remove the constraint from this side, and here we are, and here's 16. So I have the two radio groups here. Can go to the code and now add more. So I need 4 of them, right? So here is this one, and let's see, it's the second one and third one. So now the first one is going to be the add one, add. The second one is subtract, and then multiply, mul, and then the divide is div, right? Here it is. And then I can create strings and so on for that. So basically I'll say add. I can create strings for this. So basically I go to the values, strings, and I can create these strings. So basically I can create a okay, so I can call this add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay, cool. So here it is. So this is add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So here's multiply and divide. Here's divide. Cool. So here it is, and then we go back here. I can change these here. Add string, add. Similarly, add string, subtract, add string, multiply. Here it is, and then lastly is add string, divide. All right, so I have the operations. I want the add to be pre-checked, so I could say checked is true, and you could see here that the add is pre-selected, and we're good. So basically now all what I need to do is just change the constraint for the calculate now. Instead of going all the way up here, I want it to be just under the ready group, okay, and give it a little bit of a margin, and we're good to go. So I have the operations already set up. When you click calculate, I need to figure out which operation you picked and then go from there. All right, so now I need to figure out which operation you picked. Okay, I'm not gonna do that at this stage. So basically I need to do it here, right? So figuring out which operation you picked. So now I need the ready group. So let's make sure that it has an ID. Here's the ready group. Its ID is ready group. Good. So now I go here, declare a radio group. Oh, sorry, group, and here's my ready group, and then do the find view by ID. The group equals find view by ID r.id.ready group. So I have the ready group, right? Here we are. It's not happy because it needs to build. So basically, if I click on build, you see it generates that variable because this ends up being a variable anyway. Okay. So now here I need to figure out which one. So I'll say int selected ID equals ready group dot get checked button ID, right? So I have the ID now. I can do this. So basically, if it is add, so basically if selected ID equals r.id.add, you see, then I'm going to add. And similarly, else if it is subtract, I'm going to do that, and so on. Else if, and then else if. All right, good. So basically, if it's add, and then we'll do the subtract. Here is subtract, and then multiply. Here's the multiply, and then the divide case. Here it is. I already have the divide case done, so I can cut this from here and paste it. Okay, here's the divide case. Now the add is just adding them. So basically I can just copy this from here. That's the add. So basically the add is going to be adding number A plus number B. Okay, here it is. See? And the subtract is number A minus number B. So here is minus, right? And then the multiply is number A times number B. And we're good to go. So basically I have all the cases done, right? When you click on the button, I figure out what kind of operation you asking for. Now, if we want to change the sign, also is very easy. I can change it in the operation. I already have the text view for the operation. So when you are adding, right, we can do it like this. Say this one dot set text to add. Here it is, right? So this is adding, right? That's when you're adding. And then similarly, when you are subtracting, I'm just going to put a minus sign. Okay. And then when you are multiplying, I'm going to put a multiply sign, or I can put an X if I want to here. And then the division case, when everything looks, let's say I'll do it here, and this is going to be the divide. Okay, cool. So now when we run this, okay, here we are. Now it is on the add. I click on calculate, says enter a number, let's say 5 and 2, right? When I click on add, it adds 5 plus 2 is 7. Subtract 5 minus 2 is 3. When you multiply, it's you multiply, it's 5 times 2. And then when you divide, and then when you reset, takes it back to this case. Now the reset case, we have to think about it a little bit, because when you reset, we're setting it back to actually we're not playing around even with the operation. So anyhow, so you could see that this was the bonus, and it's very straightforward. It's only 2 listeners, and that's it. So please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.